everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. On today's video, I actually have 2 weeks of sales to go over. I did skip last week just because the video was going to land on Christmas. I had some things going on, so I figured I would just clump the two together. That week wasn't great, and I wasn't anticipating the following week being much better, but it was actually kind of busy. So grab a snack, grab something to drink. This might be a little bit longer of a video. This will be for, let's see, December 16th through December 29th. On 4 different platforms, I had sales on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Depop. So my notes for the week, Mercari has just been slow. I don't know what's going on there. I'm wondering if maybe some buyers are just kind of waiting for the fees to fall off on January 6th. If you are not aware, Mercari is going back to their not old fee structure, but they're changing it a little bit. The seller will still have a fee now, and the buyer, I think, still has a fee. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. I just am going to leave it how I have it for pricing, and whatever happens, happens. Just because Mercari is my least performing platform, so whatever happens there. I'm not too worried about it. Poshmark was kind of slow up until Christmas Eve. And then all of a sudden it like picked up. I did not think that was going to happen. I figured if anything, there would be like sales before Christmas and people messaging me like, hey, can I get this by a certain time? That didn't happen at all. I will say for shipping wise, I've had 0 issues. I'm going to knock on wood here for the Christmas holiday. I've seen multiple resellers, people I know personally that have packages that have just kind of got stuck somewhere for a really long time, completely lost altogether. I didn't have any issues, so that was great. On eBay, I did run 2 sales. I did a 15% off coupon for, I think, my whole store for the first week, and then the second week I did do 50% off like Christmas themed things, some jackets that I've had for quite a while, anything that was kind of winter related that I've had for a while. I am probably going to continue that sale. It is going until I think the 1st, January 1st, and then I'm going to kind of reevaluate. As far as like jackets, coats, that kind of thing, I'm probably going to start discounting that. That is a new thing that I'm going to start in the new year for my business, is really focusing on having sales and just getting things out of here, especially if I've had them for a long time. If you are shopping in brick and mortar stores, they are already discounting things. Anything that's sweaters, jackets, that kind of thing, they are getting rid of it because soon people are going to be thinking about vacations, spring, even though it is just January. So they're going to need space for swimsuits, shorts, tops, tank tops, all of that. I will say that there has been quite a few likes and stuff on Poshmark on swimwear. I've sold a couple swimsuits here, so people are definitely looking for those items. Depop was pretty average for me. The first week I think I had 8 sales, and then the second week 5. I think I had 2 sales this week that were over $100 and 2 that were over $50 maybe, so a couple bigger sales. So I will scoot over here and we will get into what actually sold these 2 weeks. So starting with Poshmark, this was a vintage Green Bay Packers starter coat. I definitely paid too much for this. I got this maybe 2 winters ago. It was $16.99, and at that point in my reselling journey, whatever you want to call it, I was very focused on vintage items, and I knew like the vintage bros would have scooped this up immediately. But I didn't really look it over very well. There were some stains that I thought, oh, I can get this out, and I couldn't. So unfortunately, this sat for quite a while. It did finally go for an offer of $45, which was great, but it did take a long time to sell. Starter jackets can do well if they're vintage. You want them to be in pretty much like pristine condition. Some, will go for more, like Chicago Bulls. I've seen those go for quite a bit more. Some that are kind of, in your face graphics, those will go for more. This one was pretty standard. The only thing that was kind of different about it is it did have like a flannel lined liner on the inside, and that was about it. So I think that also kind of hurt the value of this. Next was a vintage 1987 Wolf graphic shirt. This thing was very thin. I picked this up at the bins. There was some issues. I think there was a couple small holes, But when we are getting into those kind of vintage shirts, I think that that just kind of helps the look of it. This print or the graphic I have sold, I think, twice. Once on a jean jacket and once on something else. So this must have been something kind of big in the 80s. But this one did have 1987 on the bottom of the graphic, and it was on a, let's see, on an old Jerseys tag. These Cheetah Heels I should have left behind. I did pay $7.99 for these probably 2 years ago. They're so Y2K, perfect for like going out, prom, any of that, but there was quite a bit of damage to them. I did try and fix them the best that I could with some shoe glue. I didn't want to go overboard in case I would ruin them more than they were. Someone did offer me $15, and I was like, that is completely fine. I make my money back, make a little bit more. Definitely would not pick shoes up this damaged again. This is a White House black market top in a size medium. Kind of had a shimmery look to it, perfect for the holidays. I did put holiday and NYE, New Year's Eve, in the title. I don't know if that helped this sell or not. It was just kind of like a pullover velvet type material, and this did go for an offer of $17. This was picked up at the bins. Joseph Ribkoff, I'm very particular on what I pick up. The more kind of abstract, quirkier looking things do better, as opposed to just like a pair of black pants or a black dress. This brand used to do pretty well for me on ThredUp. I don't really sell too much there anymore. I'm going to do a video on that at some point. But this one I actually found a set. It was the jacket in the set. Before I purchased it, I didn't look at the sizes. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Someone's going to want the skirt and the jacket. When I got it home, started listing it, I realized that the jacket was an 8 and the skirt was a 10. I don't like to sell mismatched sizing in, you know, sets, just because that's not going to work for everyone. It might work for some people, and I don't want someone to look at only one tag and then realize once they get it, it's not the right size. So I did them separately. The skirt has had quite a bit of attention on Depop too, but no one has gotten it. So this did go for an offer of $25. This is a pair of Wht Wisdom white shorts, like a Bermuda length. These were new with tags, size 14. These I'm pretty sure came in a Quick Lots box. And it did go for my full asking price of $30. These Doc Martens I just got at Goodwill for $9.99. They were an older pair. Definitely had some scuffing, but some people are looking for the worn-in Doc Martens. If you have never worn them before, they're a pain in the ass to get worn in. Some people I've heard have had no problems and they don't have any issues. Mine kill my feet unless I take a lot of time to like prepare my ankles and everything to wear them. These were definitely worn, so I know some people are looking for the leather to be worn in. These were a men's 10 or a women's 11. They did have a little bit of issue of peeling in the front. I did use some shoe glue to glue it back down, but I did put that in the listing. So these did end up going for $75. This bra I've had for, I don't even know, 2 years at least, Alomi. I don't know much about the brand. I know I've sold other bras by this brand that seem to go a lot quicker. Not sure if it was the color, design, size, or what the issue was with this, but it did finally go for $20. These were a pair of Old Navy pull-on, I think they were pull-on, yeah. The Stevie knit pant in a houndstooth, extra, extra large. If you have followed the channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a pretty big Old Navy seller, but I will say there are certain items I'm definitely going to be passing, and these pull-on pants are one of them. Pants in general for Old Navy seem to be a hard sell for me, especially jeans. The only thing that consistently sells over and over and over in pretty much any size are the linen or linen blend, like pull-on vacation casual pants. Those I can flip really quick. These are a little bit harder, so I am definitely going to be staying away from these knit pull-on pants. Next is American Eagle. These were a size too short. They were a low-rise flare pants. That's why I picked them up. They were from the bins. These are a newer style. I have been trying different styles and sizes from American Eagle in jeans. I've heard a lot of resellers say, you know, that it's pretty consistent for them, anywhere from 20 to 30. And then there's other people that I say that they sit. So I have been kind of trying it out and seeing what is selling best. So far, what I can tell, the mom jeans really are not it anymore from my experience. Even my Play-Dohs has definitely been passing on more of the mom style jeans. Flare seems to go pretty quickly, and pretty much any style in probably 14 and over, those go well. Other than that, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. This kimono I picked up at the bins, there was a small issue. The area that the fabric was supposed to connect underneath the arm had come loose, so I did restitch it. I put that in the listing. I had this listed for probably too high. Someone did like it. I told myself, let's just send a really aggressive offer, so this did go for $16. These Sorel boots, I probably should not have paid what I did. I'm pretty sure I paid $29 at Goodwill. These are in excellent condition. I don't think that they've ever been worn. I might have had a coupon or something, so that makes me feel a little bit better, but these have sat for quite a while. I'm pretty sure I got them like towards the end of last winter, which, you know, obviously people are not really looking for boots in the summer, but someone did come in and get these for $70. Speaking of Old Navy, this was a black jumpsuit. I think it was like a rayon type material. It wasn't linen, size large, and this would go for $22. These Star Wars shorts I just picked up at Goodwill. They were Bermuda length. They had these patches on them. That is another thing that I'm definitely looking for, is like Disney related items, but not just like plain Disney shirts. Something that people are going to be doing is going on vacation, and a lot of people go to Disney and they want to wear, you know, whatever Disney characters or shows that they like. So I have definitely been looking for those items. These were a size 12 and they did go for $18. This was a bins pickup, Torrid. It was a crochet cover up. This was a 2X. It was new with tags, and it did go for an offer of $23. This Hayden top I picked up at the bins. This was originally picked up for that booth that I did, that consignment booth. No one bought it there. I think I only had it for $7, and the whole booth was 50% off at one point. So I was definitely happy when someone picked it up for $20. Now onto Mercari. This was an all-over print, like landscape type print sweater, kind of lightweight. It was Erin London. This went for an offer of $22.50. These Judy blue jeans sold the next day that I listed them. They were a size 26, so pretty small, and a cropped skinny jean, and these did go for an offer of $19. And then a Victoria's Secret bra. That is definitely something that I am not picking up as much as I used to. It just doesn't sell for as much as it used to either. This was a push-up bra, 34D, newer style, and this did go for $16.50. Now into eBay. eBay was definitely the winner for the last 2 weeks. It is kind of tied with me on my favorite platform. I think Depop right now is kind of my favorite, just because I've been having pretty good luck over there. So first up was this vintage Teresa bag. It's plastic. It has shells on the top. I believe it's from the 40s. This came from my great uncle. I believe he gave it to my mom. If you are new to the channel, I did a haul of things that my parents were ready to get rid of from other relatives that they maybe had, or stuff from their childhood. I know a lot of people are like, well, why don't you keep it? I've said this multiple times. I have kept what is sentimental to me. I think a big issue that we have in this country is we just collect everybody's stuff and then jam it in our houses and then wonder why we don't have any room. So my thought process on these type of items is I would prefer to give it another life. Give it to someone that is going to put it on display or use it or something, other than sitting in a box or something in the attic. So this one did go for $30. Next up is a pair of Democracy jeans with the ab technology. These were a size 6 in a skinny jean, another skinny jean. There was no distressing, dark wash. These did go for $28. These O-Cedar mop refill, like sponge type things. These were from, I believe, 2004. They are discontinued. That is something to look for if you are someone that can't find, you know, clothing in your area and you want to kind of get into hard goods or something along those lines. I have really been doing a lot of research on discontinued products. They can go for a lot of money. These were, I think, $1 at Goodwill. There weren't many people looking in this area. Discontinued cleaning products and like makeup, hygiene, that kind of stuff can go for quite a bit. These did end up going for an offer of $20. I did have them listed for $38.99 for the pair, just because there were some comps that warranted that, but I wasn't getting any other offers. So I was fine with $20. Like I said, I paid $2. This was a lot of Tresemme volumizing dry shampoo. These, I don't know if they're discontinued or not. My mom used to be a pretty big couponer. She still does it sometimes. It's not as easy as it once was. So in her basement, she has a room that is filled with couponing stuff that she has gotten, and people come and shop there. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to scan some of this stuff and see if I can move it for her. So these did end up going for an offer of $25. This also came from my dad's stuff. Well, my grandpa's stuff. These were World War II pictures. These were buildings and landscapes from Japan. That is where he was stationed. He did not take these pictures himself. He bought them, I believe, like once he was leaving and coming back home. They were all in a photo album that was kind of falling apart anyway, so I took them all out, put them in different lots. These did end up going for $18. This was a squishmallow of Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was new with tags. My mom got a couple of these, I think, last Christmas when they were all on clearance. So we kind of have a thing where I pay her what she wanted to get for them, and then I keep the rest of the profit. So this did go for $18.99. This was the sale of the 2 weeks. I picked these up, I think, close to a year ago, about now. For whatever reason, my Goodwill had like a whole wall of Loungefly items. I don't know where they came from. From everything that I could tell looking at them, the tags all looked good. They definitely didn't look counterfeit or cheap or anything like that. So I don't know if a store went out of business and they just said, you know, screw it and donated it all. They had all different kinds. They had Disney ones, they had Friends, they had Stranger Things. I just kind of gravitated towards the Chucky ones because I have never seen this before ever, like horror themed Loungefly. So I thought, oh, these are gonna, you know, sell immediately. I was definitely wrong. I'm glad I didn't go crazy and buy a whole bunch of them because the backpacks were $29.99 and the wallets were, how much were they? $29. I think they were like $9.99. So I sold a set of these like a month or so ago. I can't remember how much it was, maybe around $100. So I ended up making what I had put into my cost of goods back. So this is finally the profit. So would I buy these again? Maybe, but definitely not for as much as I paid. It did go for an offer of $145, which is still great. But like I said, it took a really long time to sell. I maybe could have sold them faster if they weren't in a set. I don't know. But yeah, so this one went for $145. This was part of my dad's Matchbox car collection. I went through them all, I cleaned them up the best that I could, and I spent some time looking to see which ones were worth more than others, and then the ones that were, you know, not worth much or had quite a bit of damage, I just lotted those all together. This was one that went on its own. It was a tractor, and this did go for $8.99. This was the case that he had them in. This thing was in some really rough shape. There was like dirt and grime that I couldn't get off of it. The inside had some damage with the clear coating and stuff like that. So I had this one listed for $10.99. Someone did get it for the 15% off coupon, I think it was. So they got it for $9.35. I'm assuming this is maybe going to sit like on a shelf in a garage or something. I don't think someone's going to actually use it just because, like I said, the inside was pretty damaged. But I am happy that someone got this and hopefully will appreciate it as opposed to giving it to Goodwill and they probably would have just threw it in the trash. Next was Girl Dangerous. This was sold at Anthropologie from what I could tell of my researching of it. It was the zodiac sign Libra. That is something that's pretty big right now. If you find any type of, you know, zodiac sign or astrology type stuff, that is pretty big. This one did end up going for an offer of $25. This was JGS Mad Lab. I didn't know the brand. Just looking at it, I thought I better look this up. It kind of reminded me of like Jam's World, you know, kind of that quirkier type look. This one did end up going for $39, and I picked this up at the bins. This was a Y2K Victoria's Secret label. This one was a size medium. It was silk, but it was like not the satiny type feeling silk, if that makes sense. Size medium, a little slip dress. This did go for $25.50, picked up at the bins. Angel Ranch, I had never heard of this brand. These Western style belts used to do better for me probably like a year or so ago. Now they kind of have fallen off. I might have them priced too high. I might have to reevaluate that. but I have found the ones that are kind of more glitzier, have a lot going on, seem to do better. This had a faux snake skin, multicolored kind of print with studs on it. This did end up going for my full asking price of $38. This I got at Goodwill. All accessories, unless they're in the boutique area, are $1.99. So this was a great flip. This is another item that my mom picked up. She is also a penny shopper at Dollar General. If you don't know what that is, take some time and Google it. And if you want to learn it, it's definitely something where you can get items for a penny. I won't go further into it just because it would take a long time. But she got a whole bunch of these pantyhose. They were they were a penny a piece. And she asked if I could try selling them. I was like, I don't even know who's wearing pantyhose anymore. But to my surprise, I did list these. There was a set of 4. They did end up going for $16. I think they were a bigger size. I'm not quite sure what this sizing is. Let's see. A Q is a size large. So they were all black. And these sold, I think, within 5 days. So must still be people that are looking for pantyhose. This is Aqua Au, I think is how you say that. This was a tunic cover-up dress. It has the UPF protection. I got this probably at least a year ago. This was another type of vacation type thing that's selling, and this did go for an offer of $30. This little Winnie the Pooh vintage backpack, I got this at the Goodwill bins back in October, I think that was. The tag definitely looked like it was about the 90s time frame, and this did go for an offer of $15. This Polo Ralph Lauren Golf, it was merino wool pullover. I have had this probably for a year. I kind of went on a kick getting a whole bunch of Polo Ralph Lauren, like the button-up Blake shirts, when a bunch of YouTubers were like, oh, they're selling like crazy. They never sold for me, so I don't know what I was doing wrong. So I kind of had given up on the brand, and now I'm definitely making sure to look up comps with the size. I think the size definitely matters. This did end up going for an offer of $25.50. I just showed this skirt in that work with me video or thrift with me video, whatever I called it. This was, what was the brand? Divine. Doesn't mean much to me. It was definitely a 90s Y2K. Perfect whimsy goth witchy type look with the swirls and the floral that has just a little bit of sparkle to it, maxi length. This one did go for an offer of $31. This was another great sale. These Bed Stew boots, I did pay $30 for them. Bed Stew and Freebird, definitely I will pay up for, just because your return is probably going to be great as long as they are in great condition. These were a pretty cool style, very grungy looking. They had the lace up on the back. If you're not familiar with Bed Stew, I believe all of their boots and shoes, maybe it's just boots, they're meant to look like they have been worn and scuffed and all of that. That is the look. So these did go for my full asking price plus shipping. I think they paid like $9.99 shipping. I did lose a little bit. I do flat rate shipping. I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm pretty central to everything, but these did go to California. So I think I had to pay like $1 or so more than what I had charged them, which is fine because I did pay $135. These little vintage Raggedy Ann and Andy, they were Christmas ornaments. It said they were made in Japan. I couldn't find much more out about them. There were a whole bunch that I could Google lens, but none of them looked exactly like these. I did have them listed for $12.99. They were picked up at the bins back in the summer. This was part of my 50% off sale. Stuff like this I'm not too, emotionally attached to or anything like that, so I was fine for these to go for $6.49. This Heat Keeper jacket, I just got at the bins. I think it sold within 2 days. This brand does pretty well in bigger sizes, I have found. This was an extra, extra large. I'm thinking a lot of these are purchased at like Costco or Sam's Club. I will say I have a vest from Heat Keeper, and it is like the perfect thing to put on if you're just kind of like running around and it's not super cold. It's not gonna, make you really warm, but it does the job. This did go for $23. This was a surprising sale for me. Sonoma, I can normally like never sell. This I picked up for the booth that I had. No one bought it, and this did end up going for an offer of $18. It was new with tags, and it was picked up at the bins. And then the last item to sell was a Land's End swimsuit. This is one of my top selling brands in swimwear, especially for plus size. I think that there is just kind of a following that people know how their body fits in Lands' End swimsuits. They're normally, you know, pretty flattering. They do a lot of like the swim dresses, or this one kind of has like a little wrap detail. So it gives you a little bit of a leg show, but not, you know, the whole thing. This was new at tag, size 20W. I believe this one, yeah, some of them have the chlorine resistant to them. And this one did go for an offer of $30. I think this was only listed for a week. Now on to Depop. The first item to sell over there was the skirt, kind of a patchwork, cottagecore, a little bit of a grungier look. This was only like a midi to knee length skirt. I like to stay with maxi length, but I will pick them up at the bins just because they weigh like hardly anything. This one did go for an offer of $20. This Nina Leonard like loose knit cardigan. I think I've said this before. I've sold this like at least 3 or 4 times now. So every time that I find this at the bins, I always pick it up. It has these really chunky buttons. This did go for $18. This was Mind Games. This is another brand that I've been doing pretty well. I believe it's from like late 90s, early 2000s. This was a size 3X. I always like to try and find plus size if I can, especially in these trendier tops. Being plus size myself, I know that it's not always readily available to me to find stuff that I'm looking for, especially in like these trendier vintage tops. So anytime I can find it, I will definitely get it and put it up. This did end up going for an offer of $17.90. This was an apron that I got from that house that I helped clean out. It was just very dainty, very feminine. I think it only weighed like 2 ounces. This did end up going for $20. Studded belt, this I got at the bins. This one had more of like a copper look to it as opposed to the like straight silver studs. This was a size 40, and this one did go for $20. This was a handmade skirt. I found this at the bins. I was like, I don't know if I should pick it up or not, but it was kind of cool in like a weird way, because it wasn't just like a traditional homemade looking skirt. It was definitely well made. The elastic was good on the waist, and I liked that it had like a gingham plaid and then this like mesh overlay. This didn't have a size in it, so I just had to let them know that it was an 18-inch waist, and this one did end up going for $18.50. These cyber goth, grunge, emo, waffle knit type tops are doing absolutely amazing for me. This was Maurice's. I think the tag was cut out, but I'm pretty sure it was Maurice's just based on the care tag. This was it didn't have a size. It measured to like a 1X, 2X. I will pick these up anytime that I see them as long as they're in pretty good condition. They don't have to be in amazing condition just because part of the look is to be kind of grungy. This one had quite a bit of wear, some of like underneath the armpits. Not that they was stained, just from like moving your arms, the color had kind of like dissipated. This one did go for $21.80. This had a lot of attention on all platforms. This was a leather like stitched patchwork type jacket. This was really cool. I got this at the place that I did the consignment booth. I've been finding a lot of great stuff there. This I think was on sale. I think it was their 50% off sale, so it was around $10. Someone did offer me $28. It did have a flaw that I missed when I was looking at it. Right at the collar, it was an easy fix if someone wanted to fix it. I just didn't want to. A little bit of the stitching in the way that this jacket was put together, it's almost like it's crocheted together with the leather. So a little bit of that had kind of come loose. So it was a little bit of a hole. You couldn't tell unless you flipped the collar up. So this one did end up going for my full asking price of $28. This was another great bins find. It was laying right on the top. I think someone probably passed on it because it did have a small hole in the armpit. Especially with vintage shirts, depending on what is on it, holes and stuff are not really going to be a big deal breaker, and it's an easy fix if someone wanted to stitch it. This was from, let's see, what was the date on here? 1994. It was Star Trek. The women of Star Trek had a really great fade on it. This ended up going for $50, and I think this sold in probably, it was less than a week. This Studio Y top, this is a typical baby doll Y2K look. It had the lettuce hem. This was a size large. We'll see how this goes. The buyer did ask, I can't remember exactly what she was asking. I think she said, like, do I think that this would fit an extra large? I really don't like those questions because body types are all different, you know, especially in women. It's going to depend on how big your chest is and everything. So I let her know, you know, there's measurements on the photo. It does have some stretch, like, I guess we'll see. I don't know if it's been delivered to her yet or not, and I haven't heard anything. So we'll see. It did go for an offer of $20. This dress is another great example of what people are looking for in that whimsy goth, witchy type look. This is Rampage. I've done pretty well with this brand. This had like the dark red undertones. It had the black mesh overlay with just enough sparkle. You don't want like crazy glitzy sparkle, but just a little bit. This was a size medium, perfect for prom, homecoming, any of that. This ended up going for $52, and there might have even been issues with this one. Yeah, there were a couple missing beads. That was what the sparkle was made out of, but when you have these kind of dresses, a little, you know, a couple beads missing, you can't really tell unless it was like completely damaged. So this one did end up going for $52. Picked this up at the bins. This is another one I picked up at Goodwill. I have normally been skipping like the top section just because I feel like I haven't been finding a lot, and that takes like the most amount of time because that's what they have the most of. So the last couple weeks I've been telling myself, especially on Sundays when the colors change, so certain colors will be $1.99 and then a new batch of colors will be 50% off. I've been finding some really great stuff. So from now on, I will take my time on Sundays and look through the blouses. This was, what brand was this? Nancy Bolin. I don't know what that is. Definitely more of like a 90s looking type tag. This had like a really pretty like mossy looking green and black tiger print. Mock neck, sleeveless. I knew someone was going to get this. This sold, I think, within 2 weeks, and it did go for an offer of $22. Then the last sale, this one was definitely a test that I was trying out. I know that, you know, Y2K is really big right now, and like the Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, that kind of stuff. So these shorts were so low rise. Like the zipper, I think, was like 2 centimeters. It was so tiny. These were a size 1, so very small. They had these orange studs on them. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna give this a try. I titled this one Vintage Y2K Micro Mini Bimbo Core Cutoff Low Rise Shorts. And then in the description, I did just use their last name, Spears and Hilton. I've been hearing some issues with people using like charactered people getting in trouble, especially Wednesday Addams and Bella Swan, I think were the two. So I don't know where we're at with like actual people, Britney Spears, Paris Hilton. So I've kind of just been using last names. So if people put the full, you know, name in there, it should still pick up mine. I don't know if that is a good or bad thing to do, but that is just what I'm doing. So these did end up going for $17. These sold in less than 2 weeks. So this is the totals for the last 2 weeks. Poshmark, $458 for 16 items sold. Mercari, only $58 for 3 items sold. eBay, $925.08 for 23 items sold. Depop, $325.20 for 13 items sold. So my gross sales for the 2 weeks were $1,766.20. After I take out average cost of goods, platform fees, shipping, all of that, I am left with $1,126.35, and that is for 55 items sold. If I break it down from week to week, just so you kind of know, the week before Christmas, that one, it was only gross sales amount $754.70 for 26 items sold. And then the week after Christmas, with, you know, Christmas kind of in there, it was $1,011.50 with 29 items sold. So this week so far, I am filming this on Tuesday. Monday, I did not have any sales until about 5 o'clock at night. Kind of smaller stuff sold. This morning, I had a couple of the Matchbox cars sell. Other than that, I mean, I haven't looked yet. It's only 10 o'clock. I haven't had any sales. So I don't really know what to expect for this week, just because people might be kind of like overbuying things. Like, even if it's for themselves, I figured, you know, there could be a little bit of a bump because maybe people got some cash, so they're buying stuff they want. But I think that maybe they've done that already. I don't know. So today is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's, everyone. This will be coming out on New Year's Day. I am going to work on a video. I've kind of been putting it off, but I think I'm kind of in a better mindset now to do, you know, look back at what my goals were in 2024 and kind of what I'm changing, what I'm doing new in 2025. So that will be a video to look out for. I did also buy a ThredUp box. I know I said I was kind of done with the mystery boxes. If you're someone that doesn't look on, you know, ThredUp quite often, I don't know when that was, maybe a month or so ago already, I noticed it, that their mystery boxes, they now do, you know, like the rescue boxes, mixed sizing you can do, but then they also have different categories now. I will go over it more in that video, but you can do it by size or by items now. So I got a dress, I think I got a dress box, had a coupon code, I have a bunch of credit over there. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know what to expect. I just kind of figured out of all the categories that they had, dresses seem to be kind of something that brand isn't always something that people are looking for. You can kind of get away with, you know, certain styles and stuff like that. I think I went with the size large, I think. I guess I'll have to look and see. So that's another video to check out if you are into ThredUp boxes. So I guess I will leave you guys with my question for the week to put in the comments. I hate to call them New Year's resolutions, but maybe let's just say, like, what is one thing that you're really going to focus on for next year? It could be, you know, something that in your personal life, something in your business, maybe, you know, you're going to try and spend less money, something like that. So let me know in the comments below what you are going to work on in the new year. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.